Hello everybody, it's Decentralized Dave again, and I figured that the channel needs another video for me to upload. So since I'm not working on an honest reviews at the moment, but I will either come back to them fully like I was doing them last year, or I will become a full-time or a part-time member of a small crypto team where I will be making the videos for them. So either way, I'm gonna be making more crypto content. I'm not going to disclose the project that I have eyed, but because let's see how it goes with them. They are releasing at the moment, and a lot depends on how it goes. A lot of their capabilities, whether they can offer some contract, their budget, well, everything depends on their release at the moment. So fingers crossed for me, fingers crossed for them, fingers crossed for all of us. And I'm going to talk to you while we are waiting for my last call to come through, which is below 10,000 Bitcoin. So of course, no, I haven't changed my mind on that call, not at all. And while we're waiting for that to come through, I would like to talk to you about three important things that all of us in crypto need to watch out for during the upcoming cataclysmic crash to the below 10,000 Bitcoin, and even S&P is going to crash as well at the same time. So the three things that we all have to watch out for, okay? So number one is what's going to happen with the stablecoins. Number two is what's going to happen with the centralized exchanges. And number three, what's going to happen with the centralized banking fiat system where we have our legacy fiat money. So let's start with number one. So number one, what's going to happen with the stablecoins? So of course, those people that will be kind of waiting for this 10,000, it's going to be very few people in the world, like 1 out of 10 million, okay? So it's going to be very few. All the other channels are going to be even more bullish. Are going to promote more the only up from here narrative, by the way. So, those very few people who actually will wait for it, then of course they need to lock their value into some stable assets, so they can't keep it in any kind of crypto, or they cannot keep it in the stocks as well. And I'm dubious about what's going to be happening with the commodities like gold. I'm not sure whether that is not going to momentarily at least crash. Like during the Corona crash, the gold also went quite down at first, but then it recovered extremely quickly. So those people that will have locked their value in the stablecoins, so of course it's going to be lots of money that people will keep in the stablecoins. And what's going to happen? Because such a cataclysmic crash, which is going to be worse than Corona crash, it's never happened before, not really. And what's gonna do it? What will it do with the pack of major stablecoins? Of course, I'm not gonna be mentioning the small stablecoins. I will be just mentioning USDT, USDC, and DAI. So I think that all of these three are more or less battle hardened enough or large enough to withstand this. But I am absolutely not sure whether they're not going to lose their peg momentarily, briefly. Remember how USDC lost their peg just a few months ago? It went down by 5%, but still, it was just 5%. So I think that my opinion about number one problem, so what's going to be happening with the stablecoins, is that they will either hold on, that they will not lose their peg, or if they will lose their peg, it's not going to be by a lot. It's going to be by 5%. It's hard to imagine it's going to be 10%, but around 5% give or take, that's what seems like most realistic, and even that should be for a only brief period of time. So if you just don't sell immediately, or even if you panic and if you sell for minus 5%, it's going to be 5% loss. I believe that we can all live with that. It's not the end of the world at all. Number two thing, what's going to be happening with the centralized exchanges? So centralized exchanges have lost lots of their popularity recently, especially the end of the last year, when one of the major centralized exchanges have proven to be total fraud. At the moment, however, with SEC having lost to Ripple, that's big news the last week. And on the side note, lucky few of you who were watching my podcasts where I was often talking about Ripple being a very low risk investment and high return. I was talking to you about it when it was 40 cents, when it was, 35 cents, I believe. So lucky those few who listened to me just briefly and who watched it. But anyway, that was just a side note. So with SEC losing to Ripple, I think that the centralized exchanges are gonna grow on popularity somewhat at the moment. So people are gonna lock more of their value there. What's going this cataclysmic crash do with the centralized exchanges? However, I think it will heavily depend on one exchange to another and on the jurisdiction where they are. And I'm really unable to even have an opinion of what's going to happen. Corona crash did nothing to them, okay? I'm not aware of any kind of major problem that the centralized exchanges had during the Corona crash. So, but whether this one, which is going to be worse, whether this one is going to also just not do anything to the centralized exchanges, I'm not sure. I don't have an opinion. I just have one opinion, but that's related to number 3 problem, what's going to be happening with the centralized legacy fiat banking system. So yet again, people, will have lots of, and especially when the crash begins, everybody is going to be such a turmoil. Like everybody will kind of feel like the world is falling down on us. And everybody's gonna sell everything. So everybody is gonna go, and the more it's gonna crash, the more will people sell. So it's gonna be like everybody will try to go to cash, and at the same time, people will try to withdraw because they will consider it safer from the centralized exchanges. They will try to withdraw to their legacy fiat banking account, but at the same time, because of the turmoil that the world will be in at the moment, at that point of time, people are going to withdraw lots of cash from the centralized banks, from the centralized legacy system. And I think that's going to cause the banks to limit the withdrawals for the normal plebs, for the normal population, majority of us. And again, it's going to be the people, the oligarchs, so to speak, or just the billionaires, or just the exclusive to the banks, exclusive clients. They will not be limited. So, or maybe they will, but they will maybe later, or just something that it's again, this is the kind of rules. This is the kind of world where the rules don't apply to them as they apply to us. And so what's going to happen is that people will be limited to withdraw certain kind of amounts, per month, and that's going to cause. I think everybody is going to realize that the crypto community has been saying that the legacy banking system is going to go down, it's going to go crashing down, and there is no way around it, and it's going to collapse. And I think that tremendous amount of people will realize this when they will see that. It's gonna be the proof that the banks do not have their money that year. So like all the fiat banking banks, legacy banks are FTX, okay? It's FTX. They don't have the deposits that you're supposed to have there. They don't have it. And and of course they can digitally they can add the balance. I don't exactly, I know there are lots of it's lots of stages. I know it's not as simple as I just made it sound to be, okay? But at least physical cash, they do not have the physical cash that people will be withdrawing. So, and here comes the result, there comes my opinion on number 2 and number 3 problem. So once the people will be limited to withdraw a certain amount of cash from their fiat banks, on the other side, they're going to decide that actually crypto is safer for me to have my money too, for us. And they're gonna send the money to the centralized exchanges. So, bottom line, at first wave, we might see huge withdrawing from the centralized exchanges to the legacy banking system. and immediately after that, it's like very short time after that, we're gonna see the opposite, like immediate lots of complete withdrawal from the fiat banking system to the centralized exchanges. So bottom line, I think that the centralized exchanges are gonna stay fine, more or less, except if one of them is like total fraud like the FTX was. I'm not sure if there is such bad major exchange like that. So all the major ones, Binance, Kraken, KuCoin, Gate, well, you name the others, all the major ones I think are gonna be actually fine, but the fiat banking system, it's going to be less fine.